All right, Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals tip off in just a couple of hours. Anthony Edwards and company, they're trying to avoid a series sweep after dropping the first 3 games, while Luka and Kyrie, they're trying to advance to the finals tonight. With a win, the Mavs would clinch their first NBA Finals berth since 2011. And remember, that's when Dallas beat Miami in 6 games. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Minnesota Timberwolves, because Karl-Anthony Towns is shooting just below 28% this series. That is tied for the 4th worst through the first 3 games of a conference or division finals in the shot clock era, the 2nd worst since the start of the 60s. You can see the list here. Not a great one to be on, but Cat's confidence has not been deterred. Here he was just a few moments ago.
My confidence is very high. It's not going to, like I said, my confidence is not going to be deterred because I'm not making some threes that I'm usually always making. You know, I put the work in. I trust the work I put in. I have belief in the work I put in. So my confidence is extremely high. And our team, I think that, you know, we've been through adversity before. So just a chance for us to, again, go through adversity, show our unity, show our cohesiveness, and go out there and play to the best of our ability. To be able to finish the game out and get a W would definitely help. That's a prediction right there. That'd be a lovely one.
It would be a lovely one. It would be a huge boost for the Timberwolves right now. But, Perk, what is the biggest reason in your mind why the Timberwolves are in an 0-3 hole?
Biggest reason or reasons? Because it's plural. And since it's 2 of them, I'm talking to both of them. Number 1, Karl-Anthony Towns, who we just saw. Need you to go to CVS, need you to go to Walgreens, and I need Zach to go to Walmart Pharmacy because Karl-Anthony Towns got an allergic reaction to the paint, okay? He won't go in the paint. Listen, he has the mismatch. That is a problem. Quit shooting those damn threes. Number 2, Zach and I had a little back and forth just last week about the overrated plus-minus stat. Oh, Rudy, when he's on the floor, Minnesota is just a plus and this and that. Well, my eyes tell me different. Okay, Rudy Gobert did 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year this year has 3 blocks. 3 blocks in this series at 7-3. That means he's averaging 1 block per game. Just 1. Just 1 block per game. Last time I checked, my eyes tell me that Dallas is not just shooting threes. They're actually getting to the paint. They're actually laying the ball up. They actually have floaters. He is not being impactful when it comes down to that defense. No one is afraid of Rudy. His peers not afraid of him. They're going at him. They're targeting him out in the pick and roll. They want the mismatch or they want the drop coverage. Again, I'm looking at Rudy, and when you are a Defensive Player of the Year, I played against a few of them, like Ben Wallace and Dwight Howard, okay? Those guys had you looking over their shoulder. They had a certain type of intimidation about them that you did not want to go in the paint.
Okay.
That's not what I see out of Rudy.
If we're slicing up a pie, how big is Rudy's slice? How big is Cat's slice?
Huh?
How big is Rudy's slice? How big is Cat's slice if you're slicing up blame pie?
It's 25%, okay?
Okay.
25% Rudy, 25% Cat.
Okay, equal.
25% Anthony Edwards.
Equal.
And 25% Coach Finch because he haven't did a damn thing on the sideline.
That's a huge slice of pie.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get. I thought
it's 100%.
I thought you were going to. I thought you were going to get distracted by pie, but you pulled through for me, fam. So my thing is, I'm right there with you.
Okay, be careful.
Why? I'm right there with you. But I do think that defense involves everyone around. And the tone for how they approach defense, the T-Wolves, was messed up from game 1 because they did not come in, as Anthony Edwards said, with the requisite amount of effort. The reason I put it more on, I guess the biggest reason for me is their lack of adjustments over the course of this series. It takes them a game to figure out what they need to do, and by that time, they have lost. You can have adjustments in game to be like, hey, get yourself on the block. Use our advantages that we have there, especially considering that Lively was a little questionable in the last game. But instead, they have options, too. Naz Reid has been playing phenomenally. He's shooting 56% from the field and 55% from 3. Why not utilize him more, scoring more points on a better percentage, than sort of watch Cat continue to shoot the way he's done? They've shot themselves in the foot by not adjusting in real time, and that's why the Mavericks look like savants.
But Sinead, didn't in game 3, Malika, right? In game 3, Then we see the Wolves try to go small, right? Part of that is on the coach. Part of that is on Karl Anthony Towns. As a guy, you got to be dominant. Didn't Anthony Edwards say, because you told us, you said Anthony Edwards said, before you teed us up before Game 3, you said that Anthony Edwards have told the world that he's about to come out aggressive, right? Karl Anthony Towns ain't said that yet.
Zach, where do you fall on all this?
You guys can have your Minnesota Timberwolves blame pie. I don't know what it tastes like. It doesn't sound like wolf pie. Doesn't seem like it would taste very good. I'm going to have my delicious, the Dallas Mavericks are awesome pie, which tastes fantastic. The Dallas Mavericks are winning this series because they are awesome on both ends of the floor, and they have two crazy good shot makers who are making crazy good shots. Minnesota's offense has been a train wreck in crunch time. No identity, no cohesion, and Karl Anthony Towns is dead right. The threes, they come, they go. That's not the problem. The problem, well, it is a problem, but it's not the problem. The problem is that he's 12 of 32 on twos. 12 of 32 on twos. That is so far from being good enough. It's not even in the same universe. He's rushing shots. He's taking bad shots. P.J. Washington and Derek Lively have been all up in his business, and he just has not been comfortable. And you cannot have a big man elite scorer shoot that low percentage on twos. They got to find something on offense and something on defense, too. Dallas is just outplaying them on both ends of the floor, and it's a complete team effort. And to me, it's more about the Mavericks than anything else. Anytime it's 3-0, it's about both teams.
Duh, Zach, we get that part. We understand that Dallas deserve a lot of flowers, but we didn't expect Minnesota to be on the verge of getting swept. That's why we got the blame pie. Whether it's, sweet potato pie, apple pie.
No.
Damn it, it's a pie, and we have to point it out there. Here's another thing, right? I don't understand why the Minnesota Timberwolves just won't go small. Because
they can't stop a nosebleed with Gobert off the floor.
But they can't stop a nosebleed with him on the floor. They're not. What are they doing? They're not winning games. They put them back in.
I did see some numbers that did
here
say,
we go with the numbers.
What are you talking about?
Go ahead.
I did see some numbers that did support your point of view. That in isolation, come on now.
Go ahead.
That he is getting scored on more than most in isolation, yes, but he is a part of a lineup that is better for the T-Wolves, and that's largely a product of Cat not being efficient. And Ant finally figured things out last game. So I hear what you're saying.
Look at these numbers, Perk. With Rudy Gobert on the floor, +3. With him off, 135. For context, that's closer to the Utah Jazz, who are at the bottom of the NBA in the regular season in defensive efficiency.
You know what? I wish I would have had this for this graphic, because I went and asked 10 players, former players, current players, about how they feel about the plus-minus stat, and all of them said the same exact thing.
What did they say about pie?
They don't talk pie. They want me to stay away from the pie, okay?
All right, well, Luka and Kyrie, they're the first backcourt duo to score 30 points each in multiple games in a single conference finals in the last 50 years. You got KD and Russ, Shaq and Kobe. They're the only other duos to do it at any position. Jason Kidd, Kyrie, they were both asked about where this backcourt ranks in terms of the all-time greats. Take a listen.
There's a debate out there. Is this the best backcourt in NBA history? It's kind of cool. Doesn't happen all the time. So it works, and the trust that they have in one another is really cool to watch.
It doesn't mean anything if we don't win a ring together, I say that very responsibly too. There are other backcourts that are more deserving right now for that recognition. You're seeing some special basketball from me and Luka, but we wouldn't be here without our teammates.
All right, so I agree with Kyrie on that. Let's just put the all-time great backcourts on the back burner until we see if they win a championship. But the fact that they're even in this conversation, Kendrick, what does that say about the duo in Dallas?
That is real. And look, I don't want to go against J. Kidd, because the last time J. Kidd made a bold statement about, putting him in Luka in the conversation with Jordan, Magic, and Braun, we thought he was crazy. Look where we at. So at the end of the day, this is the most talented backcourt we've ever seen. For as guys being able to go get buckets and isolations, this is just the start for Luka. Damn, what does this mean if he could complete the mission, which I believe he can? I just don't, I'm speechless.
What?
That never happened.
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, I am.
Speechless. What? I'm not. Your girl is never speechless. I'm going to always tell you something. I'll always give you a number. What I love about this, too, in this series, it just reminded you who they are at their best. Whether it is in clutch time, I think they outscored the Wolves themselves 21-20, them being able to score the ball. You know what the Wolves did? They said, all right, we're going to take that away from you next game. And then they started blitzing them, and then they were able to be playmakers. Their duality of being great players and making great plays, to me, is what separates.
So if Luka is able, and again, they're 1-1 away from even getting to the finals, but if the Dallas Mavericks win it all, does Luka take the mantle as the best player in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, we've done it for every other player. When Giannis won it all, we said he was the best player. Jokic wins it all, we say he's the best player. Luka is what? He led the league in scoring, probably finished, third in the MVP voting, maybe second, I don't know. Don't have the paper in front of me, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to a guy dominating the game the way he's been dominating, I mean, I call him LeBron James minus the athleticism, take it a step further with a better three-point shot.
So let's go from the best player, or one of the best players, depending on if he's able to complete the mission. I love that there.
It never gets old.
To who we're all talking about as the face of the league. And I still believe that in Anthony Edwards as one of the next faces of the NBA. But you picked the Timberwolves tonight. What do they need from him?
They'll need everything. They'll need that fire that got them to this point. And to me, there was this idea that they were not playing perfectly, but they played so hard and they competed in every aspect. It seems like the Dallas Mavericks has taken a page out of their book, because that's what they're doing with their undersized posts. That's what they're doing in making shots and having the momentum just continually being stolen. And so they need to reclaim that in this matchup. And they also have to show people that they can adjust in real time, because there are some big gaping holes, whether it's catch shooting, maybe at times Rudy being left on an island because they believe he's, defensive player, that he should be able to hold it down. But at the end of the day, it's a team effort. It's team defense, and it came from unconventional ways that got them here, not just saying, oh, we outscore you, we out-defend you.
I'm glad you brought up Rudy. We have time.
Oh, dear.
We have time to make a graphic.
You know what? We got a minute and 7 seconds. You take us off.
Shout out to Swartz and Chiney, all right, with this stat. The Mavericks are shooting 71% when Rudy is guard as the primary defender, right? Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively are 18 for 23 combined against him.
Hold up, America. Let me read the second half of that stat, because with that, the majority of those shots are happening in and around the rim, Perk. So it's going to be hard to be a great defender when all you're defending against primarily in your circumstance are these lob dunks that we are seeing.
So what are you advocating for here, Perk?
I want the Minnesota Timberwolves to go small. I think they should start Naz Reid tonight with Karl Anthony Towns at the 5, and you bring your defensive player of the year off the bench. You got to stagger those minutes between Rudy and Karl Anthony Towns.
Crazy.
If not, you go get swept.
You're crazy. That's like a hard turn.
That's going to do it for us here
That's
on
how we make
NBA
hard
Today.
turns.
You got it, Chiney. You got it. You got it. Yeah. NFL Live.
You out of this. You gone.